Welcome to the podcast. I am so excited that you have joined us. This is going to be one of my favorites. I can already tell you. Today's special guest is the one, the only, Mr. Hugh Hanley. Hugh, I can't believe I'm seeing you.
Well, Kathy, so good that we can connect through this technology.
So Hugh, I was trying to think back of when I actually met you, and I think I could be wrong that the first time I heard your name was when I was visiting California and Bev Boss's preschool. I was a young director in my 20s, if we want to age
Yep.
ourselves. And I can't remember if you actually sang at that conference or if they just mentioned you at that conference. Do you remember?
I did not sing at that conference, but I think I had recently met
Okay.
Bev, if I'm getting back in our time sequence properly. And I met
Yeah.
Bev an AEYC conference in Indiana, National Association for the Education of Young Children, in Indiana, and we hit it off really well. And subsequently, I visited her school, but I think it was in the meantime that you had been to her school and gone to her week-long seminar about early childhood ed. And I do recall when we first met, it was at the Georgia Association on Young Children,
Yes.
and it
Yeah.
was in Atlanta. And again, we're going way back, probably
Mm,
1994 or so. And
long
yeah,
time.
and we met subsequently too, yeah, at other conferences. And I think I may have even visited your school back then,
You
back in the day,
did.
or maybe, yeah, as I recall. It was a great visit. And we're still at it, huh, Kathy?
We are still at it. You know, the thing about both of us, I think, is we both have such a deep love for children. And that's what motivates us to share our message in the ways that we do. Me through ranting and talking, and you through the beautiful gift of music. And it's just always been one of my favorites. First, I want to give a nod to Bev Boss because that visiting her school for that week really did change me and really did help me see the value of play. Even though I was a child development, I had majored in child development. I thought I understood it. Really seeing it in action that week was beautiful. And then meeting you right after that and the way that you handled music, it just combined, it really impacted me. So I want to thank Bev and I want to thank you for the impact that you've had on children's lives and my life. So we'll start with that.
Well, it's been a great run for me. I started as an early childhood educator in working in a preschool, and I worked with preschool kids for 5 years, and then uh, I left that center and went to another center, and I worked with toddlers for 2 years. And during that time, I used to use music as part of the daily curriculum. And I was fortunate to get a grant to visit several other child care centers in Boston, or in Cambridge, actually, where I lived at the time, Cambridge, Mass. And to meet with teachers and to talk about using music play with young children in the classroom as part of the daily curriculum. And after the grant ran out, I started getting phone calls saying, "Could you come and sing with us?" And pretty soon my schedule was full, and I was thought, well, gee, well, maybe I could do this full time. And it, I this is my 40th year that I've been doing it. Pretty much as a music play specialist. I still visit lots of child care centers and nursery schools. I used to present at a lot of conferences and travel nationally, but now that I have grandchildren, I like to stay close to home. So that's been what I've been doing
Yeah.
probably for the past 5 or 6 years. But Kathy, I often people ask me, "Do you teach music?" And I have no musical training. I don't read music or write songs. I like to say that I've tapped into the early childhood oral tradition, and all of the songs and finger plays and music activities
Mm.
that I share, I've learned from children and teachers and parents. and it's just real simple, hands-on stuff that children can connect to, and that it's so easy even grown-ups can do it too. So we uh, I when I sing with in schools, it's always with teachers present so that they can learn the songs and use them when I'm not there. And as I say, there's so easy and so much fun that teachers, even teachers with no musical aptitude, are using them. And it's not really about performing. All of our musical models now, it seems, are performers, and people are reluctant to sing, if you will, because they see professionals as part of their
Yes.
exposure to music, and the message that comes across to them is, "Well, I can't do that. I'm not a professional. I don't have a beautiful voice." And the biggest part of my message when I sing with teachers and with young children is it's not about performing. It's about engaging in musical play and having fun doing it. And it's the songs that I use, the activities, the finger plays that I use are so simple that the teachers are not intimidated by it, and they do join in. Um, so
That's one of
that's.
my favorite things about it, Hugh, and that's what I was so drawn to, is the fact that anyone can do it. Listen, I love to sing, don't have a great voice, but I would jump in and sing any of those songs anytime. And children, you're right, they don't care. They're not over here with the scorecard, raising it up. I'll give that a 7. They are jumping in and they are buying into the imagination, the rhythm, the moves. I mean, they are so engaged, and it
Hmm.
only takes a few minutes for you to see the power of musical play. And I just love that language, music play, because that's exactly what it is. And as we preach that play is the foundation, and then you mix it with some beautiful, simple rhymes, rhythms, finger plays, chants,
Hmm.
I think it really does set the stage for children to love learning and love music. You
Hmm.
do that so well.
Well,
Well,
a big part of it too is when I sing the group setting, a big part of it is the social aspect of it. When
mm,
we sing together, our voices come together, we communicate, and circle time is the format that I like. I mean, I do concert presentations for large groups too, but I love the intimacy of a circle where everyone can see everyone else, where there's
mhm.
interaction, where children are encouraged to participate, to put in their 2 cents, to make suggestions about how to do a song, or what song to do next. It's a real social interaction, as music play has been for millennia. Before there was television, before there was radio,
Mm.
before there were organized games that children are involved in now, there was older children interacting with younger children, teaching them, and coming together and engaging in a social activity. So,
Yes, I love that. And that is true. Such a benefit. It isn't just we're thinking music and it's just one way. It is you bring in that social, emotional too, because I think of how, even emotionally, how soothing music can be. How when you have a child who is unsure and maybe a little anxious, and then they get involved into the music and you just see their whole countenance change. I mean, it's such a beautiful gift to the emotions as
mm-hmm.
well. I mean, it really does develop the whole child, right? And physically, right? We physically get involved with your music.
Yeah, there's we get up and move around about every 10 minutes. So you can't sit down for too long with 4-year-olds without them wanting to get up and get into it. So yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I love that you give them permission to change and be flexible. I love that you said, I invite them to change the way we should do the song. I mean, maybe they want to do a little bit different hand motion, or maybe they do think you should move or sit down. And not often are children given that permission in our society today. It's usually, let's follow it's written this way. We must obey it this way. And I love that you're like, no, no, this is us together. We're gonna do this together. And it might change. And that's even better if we change it.
I always try to go with the children's suggestions, even sometimes if it's a little risky, maybe. um, I find that it usually those suggestions work really well. And yes, I've altered many of my songs and music activities because of children's suggestions that just seem to make them better. Yeah.
And going forward, did you implement them? Like, that's the way you taught them in the
Yes.
future? Yeah, I
And that's
love
the way
that.
I do them now. Yeah.
Do you have one that you can think of that you did that way, that you changed because of a child?
Yes, I can think of several, but the one I think of is the large large motion activity called "Jump in the Puddles," and you can imagine
Oh,
how it goes. The songs
yes.
go. Oh, you're familiar with it, I
Yeah,
know.
but do it.
Uh,
Let's do it.
we jump, jump, jump in the puddles as the children are jumping, and then the rain comes down. While the rain goes pittery pat, we jump, jump, jump in the puddles, and we put on our raincoats. And lately, I've been taking the children's suggestion and doing the flip to put on my raincoat. Put on
Oh,
my
right.
raincoat.
The
That was
turn.
it. That I got that from children. And
I love
hat.
that.
We put up our umbrellas, and we pull on our boots. Pull 'em on with a tug. Then we jump, jump, jump in the puddles, as snug as a rug in a bug in a rug. And the
Yes.
child said, "Give yourself a hug." And so
Ah,
I do that.
mm,
So that's
love
that's
it.
just one example. Uh, I could go on with a few others, but so many things to talk about. And my favorite finger play about the little boy and the little girl ready for bed. This
It's
is
one of my
just
favorites. I do it
and
often. I'll do it with you.
yeah, and Kathy, when I do this, the children can be all excited, and
Yes.
a, a, and after doing a big move around song, and we sit down, and I'll do this activity, and a hush will fall over the group.
Mm.
It's just such a marvelous little finger play. This
Teach
is a
us.
little this is a little girl. She's ready for bed. On the pillow she lays her head. Wrap the cover around her tight, and that's the way she spends the night. Morning
Or,
comes.
oh, I want
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
interrupt because I
Yeah.
changed it already. I'm thinking I taught it and a kid taught me, and that's the way we kiss her goodnight. So we
Uh-huh.
kiss our little
Okay.
good night. Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So morning comes, she opens her eyes, off with a toss the cover flies. Up she jumps. And now we give her a shower. This is a child's suggestion. Dry her off. And then I suggested blow dry her hair.
That's
Gets
awesome.
dressed. She's eats her breakfast, brushes her teeth. She's ready to work and play all day. And there it goes. And of course we do the boy too. And yeah, it's just you can see how well you've seen it, how children get engaged in it, and how enthralling it is really for them. They just love those finger plays.
When I am speaking on the subject, I am amazed at how many parents don't believe me. I'll tell them this verbally, just what you've said. I'm like, oh, your house can be chaos and you can bring in a quiet tone and you can do a quiet activity. And one, you know me, I'm loud typically, but I know the power of being quiet. And a finger play is so powerful. And I'll tell the parents this. I'm like, it really works. And they don't believe me. And so, in the middle of a session, I'll often have children in my session when I'm training. I'm like, I will go up to a child and it'll be busy in the room. And then I'll just start that exact finger play. And you are so right. The hush comes over. Even in adults, the hush comes over. The children get engaged, and the parents, like that, are convinced that, oh my goodness, there's something to this. So I always say we have to educate the parents or the adults in the children's lives before we can educate the children. How do you think is best to help the parents and the teachers buy into this type of music?
Well, I think the best way to show them to buy into it, as you say, is for us to show them how simple it is to do it, and how children become so engaged with it. And again, if um, unless the child is familiar with the song, a song that they would listen to, um, they're usually not involved in it. A song like "Puff the Magic Dragon," if you will, a
Mm,
beautiful little song. But I find that after two verses of that song, a 4-year-old it
mm,
doesn't hold them. But if you were to give them a song, similar song, but with hand motions, like the wheels on the bus,
sure.
it's that. It's open and shut. the hand motions that keep the children involved. But talking about the wheels on the bus, the other day I was I was singing the wheels on the bus. Here's a good example of child input. The daddy on the bus says, and some kid said, "Let's have pizza."
That's awesome.
So I've been singing that lately, and when I sing, they say, "Oh no, no, it's I love you," and then I have to say, "Oh
Oh,
well, we'll do I love you then." But sometimes they say,
uh,
"Let's have pizza" too. So
let's have
you know,
pizza.
that stuff happens all the time in my work, and it's such a joy and an inspiration for me. It's
Well,
great
because
fun.
it shows you not only the child is engaged, right? The child is engaged in what you're talking about, that they have opinions and they feel the freedom to have an opinion. I often tell parents, hey, it is not a bad thing when your child interrupts and wants to interject their opinion. We really should be
Mm-hmm.
praising that one, they're
Yeah,
thinking about it, right? It shows that our kids have some thinking skills and they have opinions and they feel comfortable to establish that, and they actually are interested in the song. So there's so many reasons we should praise our kids for wanting to jump
yeah,
in the middle of
yeah,
a song and
yeah.
change it up.
And that'll happen. I mean, there's sometimes when it's not appropriate, but most of the
Sure.
time, when children have some input, I'll stop a song right in the middle and engage, and then just pick up where we left off, or follow a tangent that the child might have with a suggestion. And
Yeah.
these songs where you give children the opportunity to have input and to go with them. Um, Again, getting back to a song that I learned from Bev, or a little finger play, the one about the kiss the baby goodnight. Do you remember
Yes.
that one?
Actually, I
Now's the,
just watched that on your subscription that you have. That is one of the songs you just sang. So I just watched you do that again, but I do know it.
Mhm.
So share it with
Yeah,
me.
it's a great one. Now's the time to go to sleep. Put the baby in the bed. Cover the baby in the bed and kiss the baby goodnight. And then we have to be really quiet because the baby might wake up, because that baby has to get some sleep. And oh, the baby woke up. And you should, after you do it the second time, they laugh and laugh. Say, what can we do to help this baby to go to sleep? And then they all have a suggestion.
Yes.
Let's give him some milk. Now's the time to go to sleep. Give the baby a nice warm milk bottle. Put the baby in the bed. Cover the baby in the bed. And kiss the baby good night. And then the baby wakes up again, and then we go on, and it's a marvelous thing. And I have to stop. it can,
It could go
I have
on.
other songs that I want to do, but that can go on for 10 minutes sometimes. So
Well,
it's
and it's always for teachers, and mostly parents listen to this podcast, but for teachers, I think it's such a great way to learn the children's routine at home, to do those kind of finger plays, because you do learn what's in their routine at home. If they need
hmm
a lovey to go to sleep, or if they need warm milk, or all the different things, they usually shout out what's known to them. So it is a great tool to use as a teacher or a parent, even to find out what's on our child's hearts and
yes,
minds.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's it's so important to open yourself to your child, and to give them uh, a starting point or an inspiration. Sometimes that's all it takes to get things going. A little finger play like that will open up all kinds of suggestions. And
Mhm.
yeah.
And
hmm
conversation. I just love that it opens up that dialogue and that conversation and that language development. And you could take that music and turn it into a story. You could then write a story together about that same little girl and carry that on into a different area. And that's the beautiful thing about music. It really does bleed into every area if we allow it to.
yeah, I often start, and again, some teachers are not confident singers, but I find a good way to get teachers and any parents even that wanted to uh, have a starting point in music play is to do some chanting. And I often
Mm.
start lately. I used to do it all the time. Lately, it's most of the time now. Start my circle times, my singing sessions with chanting, and it's a great way to initiate language development and pre-reading skills with chanting. You know, if children don't hear it, they're not going to say it, and if they're not going to say it, they're not going to have a good foundation for literacy. So, conversation and chanting and music are great ways to build a foundation for literacy. Um, um, when I even chant with toddlers, toddlers who don't
Yes.
even have their words yet. Uh, but I'll often, sometimes when I'm come into a group of toddlers, if they're not familiar with me, they go running for the corners. But I keep a real low profile. I sit down quietly. And lately, I've been singing. I made up a tune for Brown Bear, which
Oh,
they're
I love.
often
Let me hear
familiar
it.
with.
All right. I would love to
Well,
hear
let
it
me
if
see
you'll
if
share.
I think I've got a copy here.
Okay.
I wasn't intending to do this, but fortunately, I have my Brown Bear copy.
Ah, I
They,
love Brown Bear.
I'll bring it out and I'll say, "Who's this?" And some toddler, some 16-month-old will say, "Brown Bear." I say,
Bear,
"Yes, it's
Bear.
Brown Bear. Look, Brown Bear, what do you see?" What's that? I see a red bird looking at me. Oh, and look, that red bird has wings and a tail. Shall we sing about Redbird? They're not singing yet, but they're listening. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Again, such a simple tune. I'll
Yeah.
admit I made up that that tune, but how simple could it be, huh?
Yeah.
Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Oh, look, that blue horse has a big tail and a long neck. All of this is developing, the commentary is
Yes.
developing language skills. And green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Oh, that green frog has a big tongue. Do you have a tongue too? 15 tongues in the circle.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that purple cat has a big tail and a little tongue. And that's pretty much how I do that. So again, it's taking something that has pictures and visual and words, but overlaying a tune on it too makes it
Yes.
even more fun for children to participate in. Yeah.
Well, and I'll add in as you were doing it, I was wanting to pat, right? I was wanting to pat with you as you were singing that. And I just know toddlers love to mimic, that they're all
Mhm.
about the mimic. And so anything we can give them while you are doing that to pat, I'm guaranteed they're going to sit and do it with you. Brown Bear is such a great confident booster for toddlers, for preschoolers as they have that language. And so
Yeah.
adding music in is just making it an even more powerful little book.
When I chant with toddlers, I'll clap my knees like that very slowly at first, especially, and I'll say, oh, "Who can say ba ba ba?" And one brave toddler will say, "Baba." Oh, Michael says, "Baba, Baba." Oh, Tina says, "Baba." Let's do Baba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Not much content there, but there's language, there's
Hmm.
the rhythm, and it's
Oh,
amazing to me that at the end of each line where that pause is, they pick it up immediately. Maybe it's instinctive, I don't know, but it really astounded me that they knew when to stop. Maybe it's just kind of the intonation that I
hmm.
use when I do it. And again, they're learning the rhythms of language too. Infants, when you dandle them, when you bounce them on your
Yes.
knee, and they're looking at your mouth and doing ba ba ba, and there's a connection there too. I don't, because most toddlers, unless I get to know them, I usually have them facing away so that they can see their teachers doing it with us. But
Yes.
once I connect with them, it's eye contact, it's mouth contact, it's socialization, and um, again, there's a musical quality to that too. The motherese, "Hi, how are you?"
Yes.
That comes into our voice when we're interacting with infants. La la la
Eh,
la la, and and it's so I will often do that even with infants, and that bouncing is good for their development of their vestibular system, their
Yes.
balance. It's good to do that with an infant, a very young infant. You have to support them, but those 10-month-old, 12-month olds, you can really get them bouncing and
Okay. Yeah.
get that whole movement experience and the connection with our faces together. It's pretty neat stuff.
I
Really
love
great.
that you brought in infants and toddlers because I think often we forget how early we should be singing with children. I mean, really,
Hmm.
moms who are growing babies in their tummies, and even the babies I didn't grow in my tummy, I hoping their birth moms were singing to them along the way. But as soon as they were placed with me, we started singing and talking and rhythmic, kind of chanting things. It's so important to start in those early years. Don't wait until they're a preschooler to introduce music to them. Start that at the infancy stage, if not before. For sure.
Yeah, actually, there's research that supports um, the fact that even in utero, um,
Mhm.
uh, children are picking up the rhythms of their language. So,
Isn't that so fascinating? I love that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what are like do you have an amount of time that a parent should be spending with music? Do you I know when you do your classes, you do them how do you set them up? I guess I should say. Do you suggest you set them up like some songs, some chants? I know you have a specific rhythm of your music classes. Do you suggest parents do it the same way with their children?
You know what? I think parents could certainly sit down and do a music session, if you will, a one-on-one or a one-on-two or three, however many
Mhm.
children are there. Um, but I think with parents and children, it can be more of an organic experience, building it into the rhythms of the day. Have a song, before we have dinner,
Mm.
or sometimes it could be the same song, sometimes it could be different ones, different ones. Um, in the car, perfect time to sing.
In the car. Yeah.
Either along with a simple song that's not too elaborate. Although sometimes I get requests for "Life is a Highway,"
That's so
which
funny.
I had to learn. But
Oh,
so the children do pick up on songs that their parents are listening to in the car too. But
yes.
it's great to just to do very simple uh, songs, sing along songs in the car, songs that children can have input to. Well,
Mhm,
what animal should we sing about next? Let's sing about
mhm.
the cow. What does the cow say? Moo. What does the cow say? Moo. What does the cow say? Moo. Cow says moo all the day. And then, what other song so that type of thing. Um, yeah, certainly, if you wanted to have a time when you sat down and did some songs or finger plays or music activities, there might be a set time that you do it every day. I know parents who do set a time just before nap time, before bedtime, where
Mm.
they sing, but or engage in music play, but. Uh, really any time that fits into your daily schedule or just spontaneously, that works real well too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And that's what we did. I love, again, we sang a lot of songs in the car. I also, my kids accuse me of turning everything into a song. If I'm trying to teach them a skill or something, I'm always singing it. And so they always kind of laugh that we wanted to sing everything in our house. But I love that. I
Mhm.
love using singing to teach as much as we can. So
Mhm.
tell us, Hugh, about what you offer. You said you're not traveling as much. In fact, we had a parent on my Facebook group for our curriculum. She mentioned she would love to see you in person, but she didn't think you were doing that anymore. And so before we go on, I'm going to pause there. Can we sing either Little Bunnies or Hot Dogs in the Frying Pan for her son? Because he loves you. He's a super fan of yours, and those are his two favorite songs. Can we do one of those before we go on to what I was going to ask?
We certainly can. Yeah,
Awesome.
well, the one that we can all do, and I'll do it. The bunny, that the sleeping bunnies is a great one, but I'd have to get up and move around for this. But this is
Okay.
This is right here in our hands. That's the one about the 5 little hot dogs. Shall we count them?
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Show me your hot dogs. Put them in the pan. 5 little hot dogs frying in the pan.
Man.
The grease got hot and one went bam.
That's
Now there are
amazing.
4. Put them in the
Four little.
pan. 4 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. Now there are 3. Put them in the pan. 3 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. Just 2 now. 2 little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. Just 1. 1 little hot dog frying in the pan. The grease got hot and one went bam. Oh, look. No little hot dogs frying in the pan. The grease got hot and the pan went bam.
I love it.
And the stove went bam.
Oh,
And the fridge went
hopefully,
bam.
hopefully the house doesn't go bam.
It does.
Okay.
I stopped
Oh,
there, and of course, they pick up on it, and everything goes. The
yes.
cat went bam.
At the hat, yes. Everything. Well,
Yeah.
Elizabeth, that is for you if you're listening and your son. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, back to my question. So, if people are interested in seeing you because they can't see you at a conference anymore, boo, where can they find you? I know you've got some fun things out there to offer them. Can you tell us about that as we wrap up?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking, Kathy. I have a website, hughhanley.com, and uh, on that I have a few things available that people can purchase to engage in music play with young children. Um, I have 4 CD songbook sets, and they're very, very simple presentations of songs and finger plays and music activities. And there's the songbook that goes along with them, show the motions that go to the songs too. So uh, teachers have used it over the years to, and parents have used it over the years to learn the songs. And once you learn the songs, it's very, very simple presentations, mostly just my voice. So once you learn them, you can give the CD and the songbook away to someone else, because you'll have the songs here and here,
Love it.
and you can do them yourself. I also have a subscription um, of videos that I've done that have songs and finger plays and music activities. Each week I post a new video. There are 2 videos that I post each week. One is a 20-minute video of songs and finger plays and music activities for very young children, toddlers up to about age 2.5. And then the other one is for older children, 2.5 to say 5 or 6, maybe even 7. And actually, the one that's made specifically for older children uh, is appealing to young children too. There might be some of the activities that are challenging, but they enjoy them too. And the one that's for the younger one, the older ones seem to enjoy too. So the one is 20 minutes for the younger children, the other is a half an hour, and each one is posted for a week, and then it's subordinated so that a new one comes up, and so there's always 4 videos available. Each one is posted for 2 weeks.
That's
And
awesome.
I do, if you're in the Boston area, I do regular visits to libraries. Uh, the Needham, Massachusetts Library has a sing along every third Thursday that I host, and there's usually a good turnout. I also visit the Concord Public Library in Concord, Mass, and the Natick Public Library. Um, what's it called? Well, it's the Natick Public Library, and I'm there once a month at different times, usually the first Friday. But check with any of those libraries too. And I'm not really good about publicizing my my events, but I'll try to get better about that too.
There you go.
Oh,
Well, we could
yeah.
all field trip. You know, homeschoolers love to field trip, and a lot of homeschoolers listen to our stuff. So maybe they'll all field trip up to Massachusetts and take a listen. But
Yeah.
and we recommend you if someone's listening and they use our curriculum, they're going to see your name, they're going to see your recommendation. It's actually in September when this is coming out. We talk about your music and how they need to purchase. So hopefully they are going to add that to their library. I think it's one of the best decisions you can do if you want your children to have a well-rounded early childhood education is to not only include music but this type of music.
Yes, and Kathy, let me mention too that I have a YouTube channel.
Awesome.
I think it's called Hugh Hanley, but it might be Circle of Songs with Hugh Hanley. That's the name of my business, if you will. And I had great fun making a television show for the local cable station. And on my website, on my YouTube channel, there are several half-hour hands-on circle time singing sessions that I did with young children. I had a blast doing it too, and
Oh, I
and
bet.
the feedback that I've received has been very positive. So if you those are free, and you're welcome to visit the my YouTube channel to sit in and sing with us at Songs from the Circle, the name of the show that I did.
I love it. I will add that. I'll link all that in the show notes so they'll be able to easily find you, your website and the YouTube channel. So everything will be right there for them.
Great, Kathy.
Any
Thanks.
final words on music to encourage parents?
Just relax and have fun, and don't be intimidated by it. It's not about performing, it's about engaging in play, and it's and
Mm,
musical play, and it's a wonderful experience. I love my work. I'm revitalized by it, truly, even though sometimes I'm a little tired when I'm very busy, but it's okay. It's enlivens me, and I think it'll add a lot to your life with your young child too if you
mm.
engage in it.
Well, I'm
Good.
here to say yes to all of that because it has definitely made a difference in the lives of my children. So thank you for that. And I love what you do for kids all over the world. Thanks, Hugh.
Thanks, Kathy, and you keep up your good work too. I know that you've touched
Thank you.
many lives, and it's really wonderful the work that you've done over these years and continue to
Thanks so
do.
much, Hugh.
Thanks,
So
Kathy.
good to see you.
And you too. Take care.